The Indians got doubled up by the Twins last night, dropping the first game of this brief three-game homestand. The Bats need a breakout game, and Zach McAllister hopes tonight is the night as he goes for his third straight win. Former Indian center fielder Marquise Grissom will visit us in the booth as the Indians try to level the Twins next on Sports Time Ohio. From Progressive Field in downtown Cleveland, it's Indians baseball tonight. It's the Tribe and the Twins in Game 2 of this three-game weekend series. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Prior to the Indians' last homestand, the Indians had been averaging just under 5 runs a game at home this year. But, Rick, in their last 8 home games, only twice have they scored more than 3 runs in a game. What gives? What's happened to the O at home?
Well, it's hard to figure it out. I do know one thing, in the middle part of that lineup, you've got Kipnis struggling, you got Brantley struggling, but you look at the numbers, you're not going to win with less than 3 runs a game. They're hitting 177 with runners in scoring position. Before the break, it was 272, and after the break, right now, they're hitting 239 as a team, 233 with runners in scoring position. That's not going to cut it, and they haven't scored many runs, the second half, so thank goodness the pitching has been there for them.
The pitching has been better than anybody could have expected so far this year, and they'll look to ride the hot arm of Zach McAllister, who's on the hill for the Tribe tonight, as the Indians try to bounce back and even this series at a game apiece. Minnesota, with nothing to lose, playing free and easy, took Game 1. Now it's up to the Indians to strike back here tonight. The play-by-play is next. Another picture-perfect evening for baseball here at Progressive Field as the Indians take on the Minnesota Twins here tonight. Tribe comes in 69-59 on the year, Minnesota 57-70. On the hill for the Indians is Zach McAllister, and here's the starting lineup for Ron Gardenhire's Minnesota Twins. Last night, they tied a season high with 6 doubles in the game. Brian Dozier to lead it off, followed by Chris Herman. Then Justin Morneau will bat third. Josh Willingham in the cleanup spot, followed by Ryan Domit, then Oswaldo Arcia. Trevor Plouffe bats seventh, then Cleet Thomas. Pedro Florimon will bat ninth.
And Zach McAllister on the mound, making his 18th start. Zach on his 2 starts on the road trip. He was 2-0 and a 1.46 ERA. And 2 starts ago, it came against the Minnesota Twins, where he went 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, a couple of runs, one of them earned. And he had 7 strikeouts and just 1 walk. So that was his lone win against them this year. 1-3 in his career. Zach on the 2-game winning streak, and they've been kind when he's been on the mound. They've had some good run support. So maybe with him on the mound, that offense will get rolling a little bit. We'll have to wait and see.
They certainly need that to happen. We'll see if indeed they can get the bats heating up here tonight. Brian Dozier to lead it off for Minnesota. And McAllister delivers a fastball for strike 1 to start the game. Chop to third, right at Lonnie Chisenhall. 1 away.
Let's set the Kia Indians defense behind McAllister tonight. It's Brantley in left, Bourne in center, Stubbs in right. Chisenhall making that play at third, Cabrera at short, Kipnis at second, Swisher at first, Gomes behind the plate. And with Gomes behind the plate in McAllister's start, a 2.83 ERA in his 9 starts, catching him.
Quinn Walcott will call the balls and strikes tonight. James Hoy, Jim Reynolds, the crew chief John Hirschbeck on the bases. Taking a called strike is Chris Herman. Herman last night 2 for 5. Both of his hits were doubles. Pitch outside to even the count of 1-1. Our game time temperature here tonight 74 degrees, and once again a breeze blowing in from center field. Herman lifts one out of play to the left, and the count of ball and 2 strikes. Herman comes in swinging the bat well for Minnesota. 5 hits in his last 10 at-bats. Swung on and missed. McAllister strikes him out, 2 down in the first. Right now, we'll look at our keys to the game tonight. Brought to you by Akron Children's Hospital. For Zach McAllister, command of the off-speed pitches. If he can do that to go along with his fastball, he can be very successful. And offensively, they need some run support. Justin Morneau grounds one to third. Chisenhall has trouble with it, picks it up, throws, got him. Minnesota goes 1-2-3 as McAllister cruises through the first on 7 pitches. The Indians are coming to bat. The starting lineup is brought to you by Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. Michael Bourne, with a hit in 4 straight games, leads it off, followed by Nick Swisher and then Jason Kipnis. Carlos Santana batting cleanup, followed by Michael Brantley. As Drupal Cabrera hitting 6th, he's hit in 5 straight. Then Jan Gomes, Lonnie Chisenhall, and Drew Stubbs.
Liam Hendriks, the Australian, on the mound for the Minnesota Twins. There you see this year, he's made 3 starts. He's 0-1 this year with a .394. In his career, 1-11. That one win did come against the Cleveland Indians. He started against Baltimore, Kansas City, and the Chicago White Sox this year, and was called up to make this start today.
His first pitch of the night is fastball at the knees, outside corner for strike 1. Michael Bourne went 1 for 3 last night with a stolen base and a run scored, but he was caught stealing late in the game, trying to go from second to third. And afterwards he said, "That one's on me." He pretty much shouldered the blame for the loss, though I think most of us would look back and say, you know, you can't put it all on one guy. That was a key play in the ballgame, no doubt about it.
Well, when you don't score, everything is magnified, and he got thrown out at the wrong time. His decision, as we pointed out at the time, was not the correct one, because if you're running that situation, Matt, you have to make it. And he did, so that's why it's magnified. If they score a couple of runs after that, they win the game, it's forgotten about.
Up and away with it. Two balls, 2 strikes. Bourne chops it towards the second baseman. Brian Dozier flips it over, 1 away.
Let's set the Twins defense. They're rated 3rd in the league. They have made only 55 errors. Arcia is back in the lineup and in left field tonight. Thomas in center, Domet in right. Plouffe at 3rd, Florimone at short, Dozier at 2nd, Morneau at 1st, Herman behind the plate.
Nick Swisher has hit in 7 of his last 8 ball games. And a pitch over the outside corner for strike 1. First 10,000 fans through the gates tonight received a Nick Swisher jersey, and many of them in attendance are sporting them here tonight. And boy, they were lined up early to make sure they got here to get their hands on one of those giveaway jerseys tonight. Swisher has certainly made a connection with the fans here in northeastern Ohio, the former Buckeye. The 0-2 just missed inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Liam Hendriks delivers, and Swisher clobbers it high in the air to center field. Thomas, though, is under it, and that's out number 2. Liam Hendriks is a native of Perth, Australia. That's on Australia's Indian Ocean facing west coast. And he signed with Minnesota back in 2007. And the reason he signed with Minnesota was not just because of their offer, but he says because they had a lot of Australians in their system. And he felt that that would make his transition a lot easier. And he said it has definitely done that for him. His dad was one of those Australian rules football players.
Oh, boy. He was a tough guy to play that.
I mean, hey, who didn't want to watch that late night on TV when you were younger?
I know.
That was some of the coolest stuff going back in the day.
Talk about, no padding, and they get after it, don't they?
And the referees would stand by the goalpost. And that was fun watching. Down and in the pitch, 1 ball, 2 strikes for Jason Kipnis, who's trying to break loose of an 0 for 19 slump. Right
There it
back up
is.
the middle, and that'll do it. Kipnis is aboard with a 2-out single here in the first.
And that's all you want. You don't want anything special. Just give me a base hit. Right up the middle, hit on the ground, and he gets it through, so that stops his streak. And that was a little two-seamer that he left up a little bit. It was easy for him to get to. Puts it into center field, first hit of the ball game.
Mike Sarbaugh goes over the situation with Kipnis as Carlos Santana steps in, and Santana himself had gone through an offensive slump of late, but he's starting to turn it on and go the other way. Now, he has hit in 5 straight games, 7 hits in his last 18 at-bats. Inside corner, a called strike.
Yeah, you're not going to see much from Hendricks because he's very generic. He's a right-hander that doesn't throw, but about 90, 91, he'll move it in and out. He'll sink it, and he has a curveball, but nothing overpowering.
The 0-1 in off the plate. There's a high fly ball, deep right field. Dome it back, looking up. Gone to Souvenir City. Carlos Santana's 16th home run of the year stakes the Indians to a 2-0 lead here in the first. And once again, the Indians strike with 2 outs.
I believe that's 235 runs now with 2 outs.
2 outs, nobody on base, a hit and a blast, and just like that, it's 2-0 Cleveland.
That's number 16 for Santana. And you're going to see that little fastball out over the plate that Santana extends his arms, hits it well, and deep into the seats in right field. So the Indians take a 2-0 lead.
Santana's 56th and 57th run batted in on the year. We mentioned it before. Terry Francona putting Santana into the cleanup spot, and he's really started to take off.
And that's the 72nd run that they've scored with 2 outs and nobody on. But you see, one little hit. Kipnis broke his streak, and the next hitter steps up, hits it out of there, and they will play from in front tonight.
And now another Indians hitter who would love to snap out of a slump, Michael Brantley, 0 for his last 20. Hendricks with a 1-1 pitch, and Brantley pops it up. Plouffe and Florimon converge. Florimon drops the ball in foul territory. And maybe that's the break Michael Brantley's been looking for. We'll see if he can take advantage of it.
Well, he's going to get an extra chance, that's for sure, because that'll be an error. And Florimon came over, called him off, and he knows he should have made the play. It just came out of the glove. Watch, see if he closes the glove a little too quickly. No, that just hit right in the pocket and worked its way out. So an error, and Brantley gets another chance. Can he take advantage of it?
Liam Hendricks, 20 pitches already in the first inning now. Breaking ball slowly hit towards short. Florimon will get another chance here. Throws him out to end the inning. But Carlos Santana strikes early for the Tribe, and it's 2-0 Cleveland after 1. to you by McDonald's, now introducing 3 exciting new Quarter Pounders, and by Kia. Two 2-0 Indians lead at second inning. And Zach McAllister will go to work facing Josh Willingham. And Willingham looks at a strike over the outside corner. Inside, he missed. There's a flare toward left, but Michael Brantley comes in to grab it. One away. Here's our stat of the game, brought to you by your Northern Ohio Buick dealers. Zach McAllister, since coming off the disabled list, a couple of rough outings early, but boy, he's been very good his last 2 times out, trying to make it 3 in a row.
Well, anytime you miss 2 months into the season and you have to come back, you don't come back like you're in midseason form. It takes a while to get back into the groove, get your feel. You know, like you got to go through spring training again almost. So it took him 4 starts, and now he's back throwing the ball like Zach McAllister can do it.
Ryan Doumit fouling it out of play. Down low. Firestone Complete Auto Care Extra Mile Index in Minnesota, who had that 6 double performance last night, right there among the league's best.
Yeah, they catapulted up into the number 2 hole last night. They started in 4th place. But you know what? Boston's always there with that ballpark they play in. You know, the doubles off the wall, singles and doubles. It's just one of those things. Every year you see them.
Up and away, full count. Ryan Doumit 1 for 4 last night. He clobbers that one deep center field. Bourne back. He will make the catch in the middle of the warning track. 2 down. Tonight's injury report brought to you by Elk & Elk. Serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO for Minnesota. Key guy there, Joe Mauer, on the 7-day DL with a concussion. He's feeling better, and the Twins feel like that's very good news. He's already showing progress. Not that he's just feeling better, but he's showing signs of progress already. Still, there are some who wonder if the Twins will even take any chances given with where they're at this stage of the season and bringing him back. We'll wait and see.
I would think they would have to be almost 100% sure.
And again, if he continues to show progress at the rate he is, they may feel like, okay, he's out of the woods, and they won't take any chances. Oswaldo Arcia swung on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Arcia back in the lineup after he missed the last 4 games with pain in his left wrist. They took an MRI, and after the results came back last night positive, he's back in the starting lineup tonight. Swing and a miss. He got him to go fish again. Arcia strikes out. 2 perfect innings for Zach McAllister, and the Indians lead it 2-0. To the bottom of the second inning. As Drupal Cabrera, Jan Gomes, Lonnie Chisenhall due up for the Tribe. Cabrera's hit in 5 straight games. 7 hits in his last 20 ABs. Out of play. One ball, one strike. Well hit, but right at Arcia, or make that dome it in right field. And that is out number 1.
Well, swing for the fences with the new Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com. It's available on iPhone and iPad, and you can download it free today.
Jan Gomes with a hit in 3 straight games. Looks at the ball outside to even the count of 1-1. John Manuel, a writer for Baseball America a few years ago, asked Liam Hendriks if he'd ever been to the Outback Steakhouse. And Hendriks admitted that he had. In fact, he said down in Fort Myers in spring training, it's the only place you can get Australian beer. Gomes lines one to center. So he said he and his teammates will go out to dinner. And he said they'll literally drink the place dry of all the Australian beer they have. 2 down, and it will bring up Lonnie Chisenhall. Think back about a decade ago when the Indians had a pitcher named Cameron Cancross.
That was
an
a long
Aussie
time
native.
ago.
Yeah, I think that might have been 2000.
He was there in the year where we went through about 40 pitchers.
Yeah, that was 2000.
Like that.
Yeah. Mike Pock to Eagle Eye. Said Cameron Cancross also wore number 62.
Holy smokes. Come on, Redbird.
How would he remember that?
I have no idea. Well, he's got to program it and lock it in, I guess, for when
That's true.
You know, when you write down their names, so it just goes into his memory bank. And what a memory bank it is.
Two-one count for Lonnie Chisenhall. Down and in. 3 balls and a strike. In the air center field. In comes Cleat Thomas. And the Indians go 1-2-3. 2 complete. The Indians 2 and the Twins nothing. 2-0 Indians lead it. Third inning. Trevor Plouffe, Cleet Thomas, Pedro Florimon due up for Minnesota. Bottom third of the Twins order. And a fastball strike for Trevor Plouffe. 1 for 4. He had one of the Twins' 6 doubles last night. Pitch outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Two-one pitch, outside 3-1. One of the great things about baseball is how the game connects players from different generations. You think about Liam Hendricks, and suddenly we start thinking about Cameron Cancross because of the fact they're both Australian natives. There's a ball drilled to center field. Michael Bourne runs it down. You watch Michael Bourne play center field, and we're going to talk to Marquise Grissom coming up in a little while here. Another guy who came from the Atlanta Braves to the Indians. That was back in 1997. Of course, Michael Bourne coming to the Indians via Atlanta. Let's go right now up to high atop the bleachers where Katie Witham is standing by with the guest of honor tonight, John Adams.
Yes, I am, Matt. You guys know this spot very well up here at the top of the bleachers, and John Adams celebrating your 40th anniversary. This is game 3,213 for you. Does it feel like it?
Only with the drum 3,213. I've been going to a lot of ball games before that. I can't believe that this has arrived. It's like a dream come true, actually. Just to meet all the people, all the fans. It's community. This is home for me, and I couldn't be in a better place than Cleveland. I loved it.
Well, and I know you've made this place a little bit more of a home for a lot of people here, especially me. I know when I came to games as a young girl, I remember seeing you up here banging on the drum. Now, John, you've had a bobblehead. We celebrated the 30th anniversary, the 3,000th game that you've brought this drum to. Now, today, you became an honorary Cleveland Indian member. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. Being in Cleveland is part of a family. Cleveland is a big city with small town values. That's what makes this a special place. And it's sort of like a welcome. You are part of our family with the Cleveland Indians.
Now, I remember the last time we talked during a game, you said same drum coming with you to the ballpark. Is it still the same drum?
Same drum, same drum. In fact, the head underneath that I don't hit that much is the one that's been on since 1973. And this head, well, I don't know how much longer a life it has because it's been close to a year now I've had it, but it's okay. It's hanging in there, but so is our team.
That's right. I was going to say it's going to hang in there for this playoff run that we're going to go on, right?
That's what I'm hoping for. They don't quit, and as a fan, I don't quit.
That's right. John, appreciate the time. Enjoy the game today.
Thank you very much.
We'll send it back over to you, Matt.
Thanks a lot, Katie, and thanks to John Adams. 40 years of bringing that drum and coming night in, night out through good weather and bad, through good season and bad. Off the foot of Pedro Florimon, and he went down in a heap. Did it go off the foot or maybe the knee? We've seen a lot of guys banging off their knee.
It sounded like the foot from up here because he's limping. Take a look. Yeah.
Oh, right off the top of the foot.
Uh-huh. And down goes Florimon.
He's going to need a little time to shake it loose. 1 on 1 out here in the third. Indians on top 2-0.
Give us time to send out some wishes. Harold and Nola Gavrick celebrating their 55th wedding anniversary today and a 50th birthday to their son Mike out in Goodyear, Arizona. We also have Bernice Blue celebrating her 95th. Bernice, happy birthday. Tammy and Jack Hopkins of Diamond celebrating their 28th anniversary, and get well wishes to Ellen Needham.
Florimo is still hobbling a little bit. Zach McAllister retiring the first 7 Twins in a row to start the game before the walk to Cleat Thomas. Take another listen now. Ouch. I don't believe that was a glancing blow.
Well, what happens too, you get some feeling back in there, but that will blow up on him later on. You take that shoe off. I don't know if they'll put any pressure wrap on it after he gets back in, and he's a shortstop, so you're going to have to move around on it.
Chop to first, it's by Swisher. And on his way to third is Cleat Thomas, and the Twins have runners at the corners with 1 out here in the third. So Florimone didn't waste any time once he got back in the box.
No, you can tell he still hurts, but it hurts a little bit less because he got a base hit here on the breaking ball. He is able to pull it into the hole right behind the runner. Thomas goes all the way to third, so Minnesota now with an opportunity to get on the board here.
Brian Dozier will be the batter. Dozier chopped out to third base his first time up. Dozier is a guy who, you know, he's in the leadoff spot, but he is third on this Minnesota ball club in extra base hits. Dozen homers, 28 doubles, 4 triples.
He doesn't get cheated. He swings it hard.
Fly ball, center field. Bourne is there, and that'll be deep enough to get Thomas home from third. He runs well. Bourne's throw to second base. Twins are on the board. It's a 2-1 Indians lead with 2 down now here in the third inning, and Dozier picks up RBI number 53. So Dozier does his job getting the Twins on the board, and it's that leadoff, or I should say the 1-out walk that cost McAllister here in the third. Up high with it, 1 ball, no strikes. Caught the outside edge to even it up. That's hit pretty well to left field. Brantley drifting back, still going back. On the warning track, makes the catch right in front of the wall to end the inning. But Minnesota gets on the board, middle of the third, 2-1 Cleveland. One to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. 2-1 Indians on top, bottom of the third inning. Drew Stubbs, Michael Bourne, and Nick Swisher due up here for Cleveland. The Indians this year, for whatever reason, and I don't think there's an easy way to try and figure it out, but they've been a streaky team. And they've been a streaky team all year long. For example, here at home, in their last 9 games, the Indians are 1-8. But in their previous 11 before that, they were 11-0. Likewise, on the road, in their last 11 games, they're 8-3. In their previous 9, they were 2-7. So it's been a team that sort of has these runs.
It's been a streaky team all year.
And then a cold spell, a hard push. You know.
Well, that's what you search for, is consistency. And it certainly hasn't been that way for the Indians this year. I mean, if one thing goes wrong, you fix that one and you start playing good, then something else goes wrong, and then it goes down. And, offensively, they're going to have to fix it. They're going to have to score. You can't score early. They were on a run there where they were scoring early and adding on in the middle part of the game and doing things the way you want to do them. And I know you can't maintain that level all year long. But their bullpen did well on the road. They pitched well. They didn't score well, but they come home 6-3 after sweeping the Angels. They were 3-3 going into that series. That 14-inning game got them over the hump. You know what I mean? When they won the second one, then they won the third. Could have went the other way if they lost it. And by rights, they should have lost it watching that game, but they didn't. They hung on to win. It's hard to break down. You go out there and you play as hard as you can every night. But this is the place where they had some really good momentum going. That's why over the last 8 games here, it's tough to figure out.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. You go back, that was that first 4 games against Detroit. They lost the opener, heartbreaking fashion, and it was as if they didn't recover.
That's true. Well, they haven't.
Stubbs with a line drive, base hit into right field. And the Indians get their leadoff man aboard here in the third. Tonight's trivia question is brought to you by AT&T. Hank Bauer holds the record for the longest World Series hitting streak at 17 games. Who has the second longest hitting streak? We'll have the answer coming up later in the game. In there for a called strike. No balls and 2 strikes. Michael Bourne grounded out. His first time up.
We'll see if the Indians make an adjustment this time through. They had 3 hits the first time through the lineup, and they did not have a swing and a miss. So when I say he's not overpowering, that's what I mean. He's going to try and make you put it in play. He better hit his spots.
Drew Stubbs, the speedster at first base. Morneau holding him there. Down in the dirt. Bourne able to lay off. Stubbs back with a head first dive ahead of the tag of Morneau. When Stubbs has run this year, he is usually hard to get. He's only been caught one time. Popped him up on the infield. And the shortstop, Florimone, will make the grab. Right now on FoxSportsOhio.com. Check out the Browns' progress in Indianapolis. Pat McManaman says small ball cost the Indians last night, and get social with Indians Game Connect. Coverage of all today's action involving Ohio sports on FoxSportsOhio.com. Nick Swisher, 1 on 1 out, fly to center his first time up. Stubbs takes off. Swisher takes the throw down, not in time. Stubbs slowed himself up just a tad with his slide, but he was still able to beat the tag for his 15th steal of the year.
Well, he had a nice jump. I'll tell you, so far last night, Herman throwing behind the plate does a very good job. He's accurate. He gets rid of it quickly. You know, Bourne had one last night. He got Bourne last night, but he throws the ball well. That one he made it a lot closer than it should have been, but Stubbs gets his 15th bag.
Swisher chops it to first base. Morneau, 2 down. That'll bring up Jason Kipnis, who singled and scored his first time up. That came with 2 outs and nobody on in the first. Jason snapped an 0 for 19 with a bouncing ball right through the middle of the infield, and then Carlos Santana followed with a 2-run homer. Liam Hendriks throwing a lot of strikes here early. 31 out of 46 have been strikes for the right-hander. And that one pushed Kipnis back off the plate. Kipnis has swung the bat well against Minnesota this year. And I'm sure their scouting reports have told them just as much. Be careful with this guy. He drills one deep right field. Doman watching. Goodbye! Jason Kipnis sails it into the Minnesota bullpen for another 2-out, 2-run homer, and it's a 4-1 Indians lead. Evidently, Liam Hendriks did not get the scouting report.
Well, I don't know what it is about Minnesota and Jason Kipnis, but he just loves to hit this ball club this year. I mean, his second straight hit, the second 2-home run for the Indians. It's going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. He picked on a slider or a breaking ball right there, down and in, right into his wheelhouse, and it was a line shot. Not like a majestic home run. That's a good piece of hitting right there. It got out in a hurry right into their bullpen, and he makes it 4-1.
I think you refer to those as spinners, don't you?
It's what the
didn't really have much bite to it. It was
did.
just kind of spinning up there and
stayed right there.
Kipnis turned it around in a hurry.
I think that gives him, what, 20 RBIs now against the Twins this year.
There's a drive by Santana. He's trying to go out again, but this one's going to fall short on the front edge of the warning track, and the inning is over. But the Indians playing long ball tonight, a pair of 2-run homers. This one by Jason Kipnis has the Tribe in front. A 4-1 lead as we go now to the fourth inning. Morneau, Willingham, Domit due up for Minnesota. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning with you here as usual. And boy, we're happy to be joined now by Marquise Grissom. Only spent 1 year as an Indian, but boy, what a year it was. 1997, a great season for the Indians and a great season for you. Got the Indians back in the World Series. Great to see you again. How you been?
I've been good, thanks. Really appreciate you guys having me back here in Cleveland. Still one of the most beautiful stadiums in baseball.
Well, you had the chance to patrol center field out here for a whole year and did a great job. Tell the fans what it's like to play out there when the fans are out there. You were playing in front of packed houses every night, weren't you?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. I was telling my wife the other day about 5:30, this thing had 40,000 in it.
Right.
And a little bit different now, but you guys get back on the winning ways in a minute.
I was saying before, the connection in baseball. You know, you came from Atlanta to take over in center field. And this year we get Michael Bourne, who comes from Atlanta to take over in center field. You were both leadoff hitters. You were kind of a different style leadoff hitter, though. You weren't a guy that was going to go up there and take a lot of pitches and look for a walk. You were up there and you were swinging from the get-go, weren't you?
Well, I was a free swinger. You know, that was my style. That was my game. And I just want to put good wood on the ball and try to put it in play with and use my speed and realize that I had a chance. And that's the way I come up and playing on that turf in Montreal, and it kind of worked for me.
Yeah, early in your career with Montreal. And that's the thing, people forget, the strike in 1994. The team you played on might have been one of the best teams nobody will ever know about because they never got a chance to finish. But you had Pedro Martinez, you had Kirk Reeder, a heck of a starting rotation, and you had John Wetland in the bullpen, a bunch of guys that could swing it.
Yeah, we had a great squad. I think, most of us came up through the minor league system together, and that helps a lot when you're trying to build chemistry on a ball club. And we had just about everything it takes. And I think the coaching we had, put us in the best situation for us to succeed.
You know, the amazing thing, you played 17 years in the big leagues, only one in the American League. And that year you went to the World Series. You had some great memories then of this league and that year, I guess.
Yeah, it was. I think coming from Atlanta, knowing I'm coming to another team that was unbelievable. And I kind of didn't understand the trade because Kenny Lofton was a great player. And I just came over here to try to do the best I can to try to bring a world championship to Cleveland.
And you talk about coming out of nowhere. I think it was almost the last day of spring training when the deal went down. And it was a blockbuster of a trade at that time. But you and David Justice came over, and it didn't take long. It seemed like you guys fit right in.
Well, you had a bunch of great ball players. Not only that, great people. And Manny, Omar, his character. And we had a real good veteran team who knew how to play, who have won before. So it was pretty easy for us to come over here and fit in. Not only that, you look at, 20 of the guys out of 25 probably had about 10 years in the big leagues already. So we knew what we had to do.
The funny thing, that was the only year that Matt Williams played here, in Cleveland before he went back out. And I mean, what a year it was. It was a fun year to get to the World Series and some dynamic games against the Baltimore Orioles in the playoffs, huh?
Yeah, that was outstanding for us. I think it would have been a tough break for us to go down 0-2. And I'm glad I was able to get up off that sick bed and get that game
That's
in.
Right.
But
we were talking about it
That's
tonight.
the thing that a lot of people, I think the story got out there, but it was sort of under wraps at the time. You were really ill. I mean, you were almost not able to play. How did you manage to get on the field and play in that game?
You know what? I love the game of baseball, and it's going to take a whole lot more than just that food poison to keep me out of a ball game. Not only that, in that situation, we're in the playoffs, and if I wasn't able to play, I probably wouldn't have played, but I thought I had enough strength to go out there and make a difference.
There you go. Let's take a look at that.
Armando
Benitez.
Well, he helped me out a lot because he threw, I think, 3 fastballs by me the day before that.
It came back and threw you a breaking ball? Now, is there any truth that you guys had an idea of what he was throwing from the way he was winding up or from the stretch? You could call his pitches?
I never used that strategy. Later on in my career, Barry taught me a lot about how to pick up what the pitcher's doing, but I kind of didn't want to rely on that. I just went out there and played baseball.
See the ball, hit the ball.
See the ball, hit the ball. And Armando was a real good friend of mine. I knew he had that good curveball, and I think pitchers overthink sometimes,
right.
And I think he did in that situation.
So he threw 3 by you the day before, and you got him the next day because he helped you out.
Right.
Thanks, brother. Way to go.
Well, that was that whole playoff run was incredible. You go back to the division series, Sandy Alomar, the home run off Mariano Rivera, the thrilling games But then in the league championship series, you hit that big home run. Then we had that crazy game here at Progressive Field. There's a base hit in the left field by Ryan Domit. And that game comes to an end with you on third base and Omar Vizquel trying to squeeze you home.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not my job to be the umpire in that situation. I seen him break around the square for the squeeze, and I just kept running. And I can't make that call. I don't know if it's fouled off the bat or the glove. But Lenny Webster's a good friend of mine, and, we went at it during the offseason about that play right there. So
I'll tell you one thing. That was one of the most exciting games going. And, that was the 4 o'clock start times here in the playoffs where you couldn't see anything.
Bad shadows,
correct?
Yeah. That was a tough one right there.
I mean, we would see, 16, 17 strikeout games. You couldn't pick up the baseball. It was one of those things. People don't understand that because you don't start at 4 o'clock here, and that's one reason.
Yeah, Mike Mussina was almost unhittable. But then, you look back and I think back of the game that Charlie Nagy pitched that got the Indians into the World Series. Game 6 in Baltimore might have been one of the gutsiest performances because there were Orioles on base every inning, but he never gave in, and the defense had some great plays behind him.
Was that the wheel play, the game with the wheel play on first and second, and
Well, he was our workhorse, and he went out, and he every time he took them out, we knew we had a great chance to win it. And he put on a great performance that day.
Fouled back by Oswaldo Arcia. You played on good offensive teams throughout your career, and I don't want to ask you to rank them, but just give me, in your own words, how good was that 97 team offensively? Because you guys didn't win a ton of games, but the talent was certainly.
Oh, without a question, that's probably the best offensive team I ever played on. You look at the guys that we had. And we probably had 4 or 5 guys on the bench that probably could start on any other team.
Yeah.
Right.
And Bill Robert, Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Swisher.
Brian Giles was there a little bit that year.
Yeah, we had a call a whipstick. And we got there. It still bites me today that we came up short.
I think it bites a lot of people here in this community because still to this day that's as close as they've been, and you have that lead in the 9th inning.
Is that as tough a loss as you've ever had, Marquise, on a baseball field?
No doubt. That's Game 7 of the World Series, and we missed a big component of that team in Jose Mesa. I think that was key. To bring Charles Nagy in that game was tough, but Mike did what he thought was best for the team, and we came up a little short. But you know what? Getting to the World Series is tough, and we made a hell of a run at it.
No doubt about it. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And Arcia strikes out for the second time tonight. 2 down here in the 4th inning.
So now you're down, still living in Atlanta, and you have to deal with some young baseball players, huh?
Yeah, well, it started out pretty good and pretty tough, but learning the kids and trying to educate the parents has been the biggest thing for me.
The parents?
The parents. But you know what? To have 3 or 4 kids call you during the course of every month to tell you how much they appreciate you working with them, and little stories that you told them about your career that helped them with their career, and to see these kids graduate and go to college. We've been fortunate to get up, raise about $2.6 million in scholarship money since I started this program, and they graduate from high school and they go into college. So for me, that's what it's all about.
That's giving back to the game of baseball, and it's at a level where these kids will appreciate it. And you never know. Maybe you'll have a couple of big leaguers there someday.
Yeah, I hope so. I just hope they graduate and go to college and turn out to be fine young men. We try to build fine young men. We know how many of them are going to make it, to the big leagues, but you can also go to college and become a professional in something else.
Right. That's a great deal.
Marquise, who had the influence on you as a young player that made it important to you to want to do this, to want to make sure you give back?
I have to give it up to my mom and dad. My mom and dad, we didn't have too much growing up, but in the community, we had the big garden who we shared with everybody, and we had my dad who was a mechanic, fixed everything for everybody. So it was just in me to go up and really help and help someone else who's not as fortunate as I was and talented as I was to be a better person to give and serve too.
Well, I know it was only 1 year, but boy, we were awfully glad to spend that 1 year with you. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me.
Marquise Grissom with us here tonight. The Indians behind Zach McAllister rolling. They lead it 4-1. Bottom of the fourth inning. Twice tonight, the Indians have connected on a 2-out, 2-run homer. Michael Brantley, Asdrubal Cabrera, Yan Gomes due up for the Tribe. Here in the bottom half of inning number 4. Outside with a breaking ball. Fastball low and away. Two-0 pitch. Bounce to short. Pedro Florimon slings it over, 1 away. The AT&T U-verse rewind. 2 outs with a man on in the first inning. Carlos Santana. Boy, was that a sweet swing.
Yes, it was.
That gave the Indians a 2-0 lead. And then Jason Kipnis got out front.
That was too.
And a line drive just smoked it out of here. Asdrubal Cabrera takes a look at a ball inside. That's hit pretty well. Deep center field. Thomas racing back. It is going to short hop the fence and into second base. Asdrubal Cabrera with a double number 29.
Let's check this pitch out on our Nissan pitch tracker. You know, if you look at the home runs, he's left about 3 or 4 pitches right there. Fastballs out over the plate, and they have done some damage to him. I mean, this one will ricochet off the wall. He's lucky it stayed in the ballpark, but a double for Cabrera. That'll be his 29th double.
Now Yan Gomes, who lined to center his first time up. Five hits for the Indians, 3 of them extra base hits. And Yan Gomes takes aim here. He's batted .295 for the season with a man on base. And it's up and away, 2-0. Back on a play. 2 balls and a strike. The Tigers shut out the Mets today 3-0. But get this, the Tigers out-hit the Mets 15-3.
Yeah, they and that was Harvey that started for the Mets, their ace.
Meanwhile, in the wild card race, Oakland beat Baltimore today 2-1. The A's stop a 3-game losing streak. Hendricks 2-1 pitch, swung out and missed. Gomes out in front of it.
That was the first swing and miss tonight by an Indians hitter.
Well, you could tell Gomes was looking for a fastball, and Hendricks crossed him up. Little jam job back to the mound. Hendricks looks at the runner, but takes the out at first because the third baseman, Trevor Plouffe, was pointing to first the whole way as if to say, do not throw it over here.
Don't get, yes, that's okay. That was the right play. You get the out. Well, you can turn back the clock with a T-shirt giveaway on Labor Day as the Indians will take on the Baltimore Orioles. It's a 4:05 start, and the first 10,000 fans will receive a 1970s logo T-shirt. That'll be courtesy of Sports Time Ohio. Log on to Indians.com for your tickets.
I'm going to get
That's
here
back
early.
in the day, baby.
I'm going to get here early. Make sure I get in line for one of those.
I'm getting back. Well, let me see. We get in. That's Monday, so we don't get in from Detroit till Sunday night. Bright and early,
We'll
4 o'clock.
Camp out here overnight.
Coming from the airport. You already have one of those jerseys.
That's
though.
right, I do.
A real one.
Maybe I'll wear it that day. 1-0 pitch.
You have a real one.
You got the whole uni. You got the pants at home too.
The red ones. I don't know if I get one leg in them now.
You didn't exactly wear them baggy back in the day, anyway.
No. Double
2-0.
mitts, man. They weren't baggy. They weren't long either. You know, they're the
Calf
only one
to the calf,
oh,
right?
Yeah, mid calf. You had to show stirrups and things like that. The only one, the first one to wear them long, and it started this trend was George Hendrick. Nowadays, people wear them on top of their shoes, and they even tuck them in their shoes. But they're giving away jerseys, no pants to go with it. Thank God.
Pair of leisure slacks.
Well, when you see a Rico Cardi or a Boog Paul in those red double knit, yeah.
Chisenhall trying to muscle one to the outfield, but Florimon is there to cut it off, and the inning is over. 4 complete. The Indians 4 and the Twins 1. The wireless receiver only from AT&T Uverse. Rethink possible. And by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. (4-1), the Indians lead it. Going now to inning number 5. Cleat Thomas, Pedro Florimon, and Brian Dozier due up for Minnesota. Thomas fouls it back out of play. Right back over the screen. 0-2 the count. I guess it was a little bit high. 1-2.
Zach, 6 straight 0-2, 1-2 counts.
Hit to third, but foul. .43 of 62 pitches, strikes tonight for McAllister. And a breaking ball in the dirt, but Thomas wouldn't chase after it. And that fastball dips low. So from 0-2 to 3-2. And again, Thomas gets a piece of it. Thomas drew a 1-out walk in the third. Advanced to third base on a 1-out single by Pedro Florimon and came home on a sacrifice fly by Brian Dozier for the Twins' only run thus far. Up high, ball 4, so McAllister can't put him away, and he's walked Thomas for the second time tonight. Our great clip of the game from last night, Ubaldo Jimenez.
Well, after the first 2 innings, really settled in nicely. Pitched a good game, 10 punch outs, but ended up coming up with the L.
Season high 10 strikeouts for Jimenez, but really a crazy game. Loaded the bases with nobody out in the first, then struck out the next 3 hitters in a row. But the Indians' offense was stuck in neutral last night. They managed only 1 run. Weekly tap towards second. Kipnis will get the lead runner. Thomas is retired, 1 away. I'll bring up Brian Dozier. 16 of 18.
Yeah, he's been pounding the strike zone. A lot of 0-2, 1-2 counts. He has walked 2, but it's been Thomas both times. And Thomas in the third inning came around to score with the 1-out walk. But they just erased him on a fielder's choice.
Fastball taken for a strike by Dozier.
I'll tell you what, if I'm a hitter, and this is the 3rd time now that they're going through it, I'd be ready for that first pitch. He's going fastball, he's going a lot of strikes, so why not?
Gets away from Gomes, and Florimon will advance. So he's in the scoring position with 1 out.
Little breaking ball. Well, that didn't really bounce into the dirt, did it?
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
They give it a more wild pitch, but that's a ball I think that Gomes should have had. That happens a lot sometimes throughout the year. That ball, I don't really think there was a good enough effort there.
Popped up foul, back out of play. Swung on and missed. He got him to chase a breaking ball. 4th strikeout for McAllister. Now 2 down here in the 5th.
Well, we were talking about the Mets earlier. Come on down to the ballpark on September 6th. It's a Friday night, 7:05 start. It'll be Dollar Dogs and Firework night. And the fireworks will be presented by Wayside Furniture. It'll be set to the rise of FM music. So go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Chris Herman flied to deep left his last time up in the 3rd inning. McAllister finds the outside corner, 1-1. The big right-hander, 75th pitch of the night, is a chop foul by Herman. Now the 1-2 pitch. Did he go? They appeal. No, says John Hirschbeck. That was really close. Let's take another look.
No, I think he might have been able to hold up there.
And now the 2-2. In the air to left. Brantley has it measured. The inning is over. McAllister works around the leadoff walk. And we'll go to the bottom of the 5th. 4-1 Cleveland. From America's #1 pregame show comes the all-new Fox Football Daily, featuring an all-star lineup of experts and NFL legends. Fox Football Daily, weeknights at 6 Eastern on America's new sports network, Fox Sports 1. Fox Sports 1 available on all TV providers. Go to foxsports1.com to find out where you can find it in your area. Drew Stubbs going to lead off the bottom half of the 5th. Singleton scored his only time up. Ball 1 from Liam Hendricks. time the home plate umpire said Stubbs went around. The 1-1 is lined into left field for a base hit. And Stubbs is 2 for 2.
Well, the first time he went to right field, the second time he's going to bring the hands in and hit it to left field. So Drew Stubbs put a couple of good swings on the ball.
Michael Bourne 0 for 2. Rips it foul. Michael Bourne awaiting the 0-1 pitch. And it's a little bit outside. Stubbs with his 15th stolen base of the year back in the third. Draws a throw and almost threw it wide of Morneau. The 1-1. And Bourne again able to lay off. And again, Drew Stubbs drawing a throw, went in standing, almost tumbled over.
Yeah, when you go back in standing like that, you shoot for the outside corner of that bag, and sometimes you can either overshoot it. You just got to make sure you stay on the bag.
Play like that, I always think of Kent Herbeck picking up, was it Ron Gant picking him up off the base in the World Series? 2-1 pitch. Well, Michael Bourne's in a good spot now.
Yeah, it's a good pitch to run on, too, when you have speed like this. And if Michael likes the pitch, he can go after it. You have a 3-run lead here in the fifth. Apply a little more pressure, nobody out. Twins thinking along the same lines, so they want to keep an eye on him.
Now, Rick, different story strategy-wise if you're, say, tied or behind in the game?
Well, you may wait till 3-2. You're going to send them anyway. But when you have a guy that can run, I would make it mandatory 3-1, 3-2. Go ahead and take off. If your hitters are disciplined enough that they can lay off and take the walk.
Well, Stubbs gets to second because Bourne does indeed take the walk. And the Indians have their first 2 on with nobody out here in the fifth. And if you joined us late, time now for our game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Carlos Santana with a 2-out, 2-run homer in the first. Twins' only run came on a sac fly in the third by Brian Dozier. And then the Indians came right back in the third inning with another 2-out, 2-run homer, this one by Jason Kipnis. And that's where it stands right now in the fifth, but the Indians are threatening now to add to their lead. They've got Anthony Swarzak up and getting loose in the bullpen. Just 73 pitches so far tonight for Liam Hendricks.
Well, they're trying to get him through 5 innings, and he may have a tough time because this is their third time through.
Nick Swisher is flied out, grounded out tonight. And he takes a called strike. All those folks out there wearing the Swisher jersey tonight in the seats, they want to see him come up with a big blast right here.
Well, I'm sure standing in the box, he wants to deliver.
And he drives one at deep center field. Nobody's going to catch it. Stubbs around
Look at
third.
Bourne.
Bourne closing
Look
in on
at
him.
this.
Stubbs scores. Bourne right behind him. A 2-run double for Nick Swisher. And the Indians have opened up a 6-1 lead. And that was an exciting a double as you'll ever see.
You want to talk about fun to watch? I mean, they have their best 2 runners on the bases. And as soon as that ball was hitting the gap, I mean to tell you, Bourne kicked it in gear, and he was right on the tail of Drew Stubbs. And he knew that this ball was going to find the hole. Look, there goes Bourne right now. Head down, he picked it up, and watch this. Stubbs right in front of him. Move, partner, I'm coming around to score. Yes, he does. A 2-run double makes it a 6-1 game. Fun to watch.
Oh, the ball gets by. And down to third jogs Nick Swisher on the wild pitch. Looked like I went right through the wickets of Herman. I don't know. Well, Jason Kipnis now with a chance to add a run here with a runner at third base and nobody out.
Breaking ball, little short hopper.
Didn't throw his body in front of it, though.
Went to the backhand side. You're right. So a free at bat for Kipnis.
Fastball in there for a strike, 1-1.
Who just hit a 2-run homer in his last at bat. 2 for 2 tonight. You've got the infield in, a man on third.
Tell you what, I would have loved to have been a high school track coach to have Bourne and Stubbs on a
That
relay
looked like
team.
that's what I was going to say. They were going to pass the baton right there when they got to home plate. That was fun to watch.
1-1 pitch. And Kipnis squibs it up the middle. What a diving catch by Dozier. Almost the 3rd hit of the night for Kipnis, if not for a terrific diving catch by Dozier.
That ball was hooking slicing the other way. He hit it off the end of the bat. It wasn't hit hard. That's why he was able to catch it. But that ball was hooking away from him. I should say slicing away from him. But he made a beautiful play. They get the first out, and Hendricks is done.
So today's Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. Anthony Swarzak is coming on when we come back. Tribe on top, 6-1. Liam Hendricks knocked out after 4 1/3 innings here tonight. Anthony Swarzak for the 38th time this year. And he's coming on to face Carlos Santana. Swarzak with a runner at third base. That's Nick Swisher. The Twins infield drawn in. Cut of the grass, and then you see Santana taking low ball ones. Santana 2-run homer with 2 outs in the first inning, and then he hit one to deep right field that was caught to end the third.
I want to see him get this runner in from third, get him going a little bit in that number 4 hole. He's been swinging it better and better, and with every hit and every RBI, he gets a little more confidence.
What really looked nice to me in that first inning when he hit the home run, it wasn't one of those I'm going to swing as hard as I can and try to hit it out of there. It was just a nice, smooth,
I'm
easy
sure if we
stroke.
break it down and look at it, it's a nice, short, compact swing, and he had a nice follow through to it, and the ball jumped off his bat.
Three and 0.
Doesn't look like he wants a whole lot to do with Santana right now.
Well, with the base open.
And a guy struggling that's on deck. He'll have the green light here.
And he swung and fouled it right back. Nick Swisher in off and foul ground at third base. And again, Santana swings, fouls it out of play, full count. Carlos steps away. The 3-2 in the dirt, ball 4. Indians at the corners, and Michael Brantley twice tonight has grounded out. He's got a chance, though, to not only snap out of that slump, but a chance to drive in a run here. Brantley 0 for his last 22, but more importantly, Michael on the year has batted .351 with runners in scoring position, and that's third best in the league. And that's certainly, everybody has their ups and downs, and you go through.
Well, this is the first we've seen of any kind of prolonged little slump for Michael. He's been so consistent all year. That's why you're sort of in shock when you see it. So now, you know what? You don't worry about that 0 for 22. I want to see him get the man in from third base so he can have a little positive note on this at bat.
Think about this, though. The only two guys who've hit better with runners in scoring position this year than Michael Brantley are Miguel Cabrera and Chris Davis. Those guys have driven in about 250 runs between the two of them.
Well, and you take into consideration, you know, Cabrera's been around forever. He was born to hit. Davis is just turning into a budding superstar now with his power. Brantley is learning, you know, to be a run producer and drive in runs.
And he hasn't necessarily been in an RBI spot in the order all season long.
He's been all over the lineup. But that's why Terry hits him in this spot, because he's so consistent.
Chopper foul, first base side.
You know, and whether it's fatigue or anything, and it seemed like even though the off day was Thursday, it seemed like everybody had jet lag yesterday in that ball game. It really did. And I mean, that comes into play, but there's no excuses. I'm not making excuses, because everybody has to do it. Every team goes through it. you find a way to fight through it. Today, we've seen a lot better swings on the baseball from a lot of the hitters.
The 1-2. Line drive left field.
Tag up.
Caught. Dropped. The run will score from third as Swisher scampers home. Santana into second. And Brantley is aboard. The Indians lead it 7-1.
One of those plays for Arcia where you've got to really come in and hustle to get it. And this ball was right off the deck, right off his shoe top. Michael was going to get that run in. He just, that ball goes off the end of his glove. There he gets a base hit here. Would have been a sacrifice fly. Arcia comes in. Should he have had it? Probably. I know if I'm playing left field, I would expect to catch that ball. You see Swisher now starting to run. It would have been a sac fly, but it goes as a base hit. And Brantley ends his streak and drives in a run.
Now comes his dribble Cabrera, who doubled his last time up.
Close the book on Hendricks. All 7 go to him.
Swung on and missed. Seven runs on 7 hits for Liam Hendricks in 4 1/3. He only walked 1, did not strike out a batter. In fact, I don't think he had a swing and a miss until about the 3rd or 4th inning.
As a matter of fact, I'll let you know, it was the 4th inning. It was Gomes.
Bouncing ball to first base, and it goes off the end of the glove for Morneau. He recovers and throws out Cabrera for out number 2. So Cabrera heads to the dugout, and Yan Gomes will be coming up.
Goes off the heel of his glove at first, but he didn't panic. Swarzak got over there in time, and he was able to throw Cabrera out.
Yan Gomes 0 for 2 is the 8th man to bat in the inning. Drew Stubbs started the inning with a base hit. Stubbs has singled twice and scored 2 runs. Bourne walked after Stubbs, and then Nick Swisher with a ringing double to right center field scored both of them. Nice block that time by Herman. And Swarzak delivers, and Gomes fouling it back out of play, 1-2. With their 7 runs scored here tonight, it's the most runs the Indians have scored in a home game since July the 30th. We highlighted that at the top of our telecast tonight. The 1-2 pitch. And there's a hard ground ball hit right at the second baseman, Dozier. He'll throw out Gomes to end the inning. Tribe puts 3 more on the board. Nick Swisher drives home a pair, and after 5, it's 7-1 Cleveland. Element is happy tonight. The Indians have 3 of their new signees from their Dominican academy here tonight. Junior Soto, Juan Garcia, a couple of outfielders, and shortstop Willie Castro. All signed and here tonight catching the ball game. Getting ready and obviously very excited to start their professional baseball careers. Zach McAllister, boy, has he been good tonight. 5 innings. He's allowed 1 run on 3 hits. He has struck out 4. And he's walked 2, but it's been the same guy both times, Cleet Thomas, for whatever reason. Justin Morneau 0 for 2 will lead off the 6th inning for Minnesota. 68% of McAllister's pitches tonight have been strikes. And there's a high fly ball to center where Michael Bourne can settle under it. 1 away. All right, time to get the answer to the AT&T trivia question. We forgot to ask him about this when we had him in the booth.
Oh, yeah. How about that?
Totally forgot to ask him about that.
Well, we covered quite a bit in the half inning.
He hit in all 6 World Series games in '95 and in '96, and the first 3 World Series games in '97. But knowing Marquise as we know him, even if we'd asked him about it, the answer would have been pretty short and succinct. You know, he's never been a guy, look at me, talk about me.
No.
He's always understated as a player. He really just loved the game.
Play the game.
Play it hard. And when it's all said and done, take a shower and go home.
Let the cards fall where they may, but just go out and win.
High drive against center field. But with that breeze blowing in, ball just will not carry that direction. 2 down.
Well, bring the whole family out to the ballpark because every Sunday is KeyBank Kids Fun Day. And that's every home game, so they're running out. We're running out of time. We're running out of Sunday home games. There are plenty of activities for the kids. They get to run the bases. It's presented by Cleveland Clinic. And we'll wrap up this homestand, this 3-game homestand tomorrow on Kids Fun Day before we head out for another week.
You know, it was interesting. I was talking to one of the guys from the Twins today. They're going home after tomorrow for a 3-game homestand, and then they're right back out on the road.
Well, this is we were down in Miami for 3 games and came right back after a homestand. We had a pretty good homestand, went down to Miami for 3 and came right back. Well, now it's catching us on the flip side. After we had the long West Coast trip, we come home for 3 and you're back out again. But I mean, you know, talking to everybody with every ball club, the scheduling, I don't know anybody that's happy with it ever.
There's always good and bad with the schedule.
And it has to be that way. It goes on for 6 months. You can't please everybody, and everybody has their issues.
Domit's going to try that win. He got hold of it pretty good, but Bourne is back there, and he'll make the catch. 3 fly ball outs to Michael Bourne in center field, and McAllister cruises through the 6th. A happy night at the ballpark as the Indians have gotten some offensive productivity from a number of different people. Carlos Santana, a 2-run homer. Jason Kipnis, a 2-run homer. And the man of the night, Nick Swisher, a 2-run double. Lonnie Chisenhall 0 for 2 will lead off the bottom of the 6th inning. Anthony Swarzak misses inside for ball 1. Back out of play. Liam Hendricks, according to our statistician extraordinaire Tom Bushenik, is the 4th opposing starting pitcher to fail to register a single strikeout against the Indians this year. However, 2 of those starters failed to make it out of the 1st inning. The only other one who did was also a Minnesota Twin, Scott Diamond, who went 4 2/3 innings and didn't strike out a batter on July 21st. Lonnie Chisenhall strikes out looking, and that's the first Indian to strike out here tonight. And we'll go downstairs to check in with Katie Witham.
Thanks, Matt. Well, Indians fans, mark your calendar for Saturday, September 7th. That's the next jersey giveaway. Michael Bourne will be giving away his jersey. The first 10,000 fans will get it as they come through the gate, presented by Meritech. Afterwards, stick around. We've got post-game fireworks presented by the Brilliant Sign Company. Get your tickets now at Indians.com.
Nice job concentrating, Katie, while the music was blaring at full volume while she's trying to talk. Nice job. Drew Stubbs, 2 singles, 2-run score on the night. Right back to Swarzak. And an easy play for the Twins pitcher, 2 down. Now the Browns travel to Indianapolis for Game 3 of the preseason against the Colts, and you can see the midnight replay right here on Sports Time Ohio. Two down now for Michael Bourne. One more preseason game after this one for the Browns, and then it's teed up and go get 'em time. Which I guess that makes sense because they usually start right around or right after Labor Day.
September. Here we come.
Right after the next road trip, it's Labor Day.
Yep.
In fact, the Indians will host the Baltimore Orioles on a 4 o'clock Labor Day start here at Progressive Field. That'll be another big series for the Indians.
Wild card showdown. Well, a lot's going to depend on this trip, too, what happens. They're hitting a couple of really good towns when you go down to Atlanta for 3 and then Detroit. 2 of the top pitching staffs in their leagues. Detroit, #1 in the American League, and I think Atlanta is #2 in the National League.
Well, Atlanta has the best record in all of baseball. It's 77-51 heading into play today.
So, yes, this week will mean a lot. They have to finish out tonight and tomorrow. Get a nice off day, and boy, get your sleep, boys, because it's going to be a good, tough road trip.
Now the 0-2. Out of play. The 0-2 pitch. Down and in. Just missed inside. The 2-2. Off the plate, full count. This will be pitch number 30 now for Anthony Swarzak since he came on with 1 out in the 5th inning. Bourne chops it to Morneau. Quick flip. The Indians go 1-2-3. After 6, it's Cleveland 7, Minnesota 1. With 18 locations in Northeast Ohio, and by Levin. There's a look in at Progressive Field tonight from our Panini Cam, brought to you by Panini's Bar and Grill. Nick Swisher giveaway jersey tonight, and then they've got the big fireworks show coming up afterwards. Nice Saturday evening crowd here at Progressive Field, and the Indians taking it to Minnesota tonight, 7-1. They lead it. Oswaldo Arcia to lead off. The bottom of the 7th has struck out twice tonight in his return to the lineup after missing the last 4 games with pain in that left wrist.
I'll tell you what, maybe we found something here with McAllister. He's throwing the ball very well tonight, so that goes into the seats. But we mentioned he's getting 6 runs of support tonight. He gets 7. He's looking for his first time to get 3 consecutive wins in a row.
He's the run machine.
Why not? Hang that jersey on the bat rack. And he's let his outfielders do some work for him tonight.
And this will be an infielder taking this one, but another ball in the air. Lonnie Chisenhall grabs it, 1 away. Fox Sports is proud to partner with Johns Hopkins Medicine, one of this year's Fox Sports Supports charities. Join us in the fight against autoimmune diseases like MS and lupus. Donate now by visiting hopkinsmedicine.org/Fox. Trevor Plouffe has flied to center, flied to right. Belt high breaking ball for a strike.
Yeah, 10 outfield putouts today. Brantley has 3. Borney has 6. Stubby has 1. That tipped him. Yes,
Sure
it did. He could hear it.
Plouffe hit by the pitch will take his base.
Just a skimmer. I mean, Gomes was still able to catch that ball, so it just ricochet off his arm.
Well, here's Cleat Thomas, who has walked twice tonight. Up and away, and out goes Yan Gomes. McAllister really hasn't had any trouble tonight at all. He had 2 base runners with 1 out in the 3rd inning, but he quickly retired the next 2, giving up 1 run on a sac fly. And back-to-back hits with 1 out in the 4th, but then a strikeout and a fly ball to end that inning. And before he hit Trevor Plouffe there, he'd retired 6, 7 in a row. But here again, he can't throw a strike to Cleve Thomas.
Isn't that something where you find a guy, and we see this once in a while where one pitcher just has a tough time with a hitter, and today it just happens to be Thomas.
Finds the strike zone. It's 3-1. Just now going to get some action in the Indians bullpen. Thomas swings at the 3-1 pitch and pops it up, foul ground. And Lonnie Chisenhall has it, 2 away. And that will bring up Pedro Florimon. Mark Zepchinski, left-hander, just getting loose as we speak.
Well, so far tonight, in the first 6 innings, McAllister, to get the 3rd out of an inning, has thrown only 20 pitches. So it's been in a hurry.
You talking about total, the whole game?
Total.
That's
For
impressive.
the 6 innings, he's only thrown 20 pitches. There's 20. His 21st pitch after he gets
That's
the 2
the second
outs.
out. That's how you get deep into the game.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit high. Conversely tonight, the Indians had 2 outs, nobody on base in their half of the first. Single, home run. 2 outs, 2-run homer in the 3rd. Yeah, you make that pitcher work. Drive the pitch count up.
Well, he was proving to these guys early. He's throwing strikes, pounding the strike zone, strike 1, getting ahead in the count, 0-2, 1-2 counts. And he's been great the last 3 starts doing that. Using his fastball a lot. And, today he's changed speed, some nice split change-ups.
The ball and 2 strikes. Threw it right by him. Boy, what a night for Zach McAllister. 7 strong innings, 5 strikeouts. He's given up just 1 run. We've reached the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by Spitzer Auto World. Life is hard. Buying a car shouldn't be. 7-1, Indians leading it. The joint is jumping here tonight. And it's time now for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Let's go back to October 1997. Game 2 of the League Championship Series. Tribe down 4-2. 8th inning, 2 on, 2 out. Marquise Grissom, goodbye. And the Indians would take the lead, go on to win Game 2. And that was a gigantic shift in that series, because had the Indians gone down 0-2 coming back home, who knows what might have happened. But Grissom's blast put the Indians on top to win. They even the series, came back home, and then, of course, it would go back to Baltimore for the deciding Game 6, which the Indians would win and move them on to the World Series. Grissom named the League Championship Series MVP, due in part to that monster home run he hit. And it was great having Marquise on with us earlier here tonight. And now Nick Swisher, who had a big hit earlier in the ballgame. His 2-run double really blew this game open.
Yeah, it sure did. It made it 6-1, and then he came around to score that 3rd run in the 5th inning. But it was fun because when he hit his double, Stubbs had his 2nd hit of the game, and then a walk Bourne, and we got a chance to see those two pick it up and put it down on his gapper.
Yeah, if going first to home on a hit or an Olympic sport, the Indians would have a couple of gold medal candidates with Stubbs and Bourne. Those guys are fun to watch.
Well, that's what it is. When you can go 3 bases at a time, people say the most exciting thing is a triple, to watch. When you go first to home, it's fun to watch those guys pick it up and put it down.
Swisher drives one to center field, but Cleet Thomas is there, and he will make the catch, 1 away. Now up comes Jason Kipnis. Kipnis got off the schneid tonight. He was 0 for his last 19 coming in, but he had a bouncing ball single in the 1st, then a line drive 2-run homer in the 3rd, and then robbed of a hit in the 5th on a terrific play by second baseman Brian Dozier. Called strike on the outside edge. Since 1961, Jason Kipnis is climbing up the ladder there in most RBIs in the season against Minnesota.
Remember, we have a 4-game series that ends the year in Minnesota. So we have tomorrow's ball game, so 5 left.
Tomey, Bell, Ramirez, Kipnis, Baerga.
Uh-huh.
Bounced foul. I can still see Jim Tomey hitting balls into the upper deck in right field at the Metrodome.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of home runs go up there. I mean, that wasn't the longest ballpark in that place, but boy, to watch left-handed hitters hitting there was fun. Because it looked like it would go like 800 feet.
Yeah, it
just wasn't that long because the seats for the football stadium, were just pushed back up, and that was the right field wall.
Two-two pitch upstairs and a full count. Now the payoff pitch. Upstairs, ball 4. That's going to bring up Carlos Santana, whose 2-run homer in the first got the Indians off and running tonight. Ball 1 to Santana. Rick, you talking about Tomey and thinking about home runs at the Metrodome. I was talking to Murph back in the truck. I was trying to think of the name. There was a pitcher back then. It seemed like every time the Indians played the Twins, especially Minnesota, Jim Tomey would wear him out. And Murph came up with a name. It was Rick Reed.
Yeah, right-handed pitcher, came from the Mets over to Minnesota.
How about Jimmy's career numbers against Rick Reed? The 2-0 pitch coming to Santana first. 12 for 27 with 9 home runs.
Wow.
I mean,
should have walked him. How many? Yeah.
Just one of those guys who you just knew.
9 out of
12 hits
wow,
left the yard. Yeah. You're right. At some point, he probably should have just said, just put up 4 fingers.
You know what, Jimmy?
Let's
See you
go.
later. Don't. I'm not going to throw you anything. Get lost. 9 homers out of 12 hits. That's pretty good in 27 at bats.
One of them might have punctured the roof at the Metrodome, too. High pop, shallow center. In comes Thomas. He's got it 2 away. Down low, ball 1. Michael Brantley lifts one in the air, pretty deep left field. Back is Arcia, and he will make the catch. 7 in the books. Tribe 7, Twins 1. of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Indians Live comes your way next here on Sports Time Ohio, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Al and Jason will have the highlights from the studio. Katie will have interviews from here at the ballpark. We go to the 8th inning. Top of the order here for Minnesota. Zach McAllister delivers up high, ball one, just over 100 pitches on the night. Brian Shaw up in the Indians bullpen, ready when called upon.
Well, Zach has been so good tonight. Throwing strikes, moving it around, making them put it in play. He has 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. Both walks came to the same player, Cleet Thomas. And then one of those walks, the one out walking the third, is how Minnesota scored. They had a base hit and then a sacrifice fly.
That's hammered deep left. Brantley's going to watch it leave. And Minnesota gets their second run of the night. And it's Brian Dozier, who I mentioned earlier, third on the Twins club in extra base hits. That's his 13th homer of the season.
Well, that's one thing McAllister has been very good at. You know, in his first 9 starts this year, he gave up 7 home runs in 56 innings. That's only his second home run given up in his last, let me see here, 48 and 2/3 innings. A high fastball that Dozier gets on top of.
Chris Herman 0 for 3 on the night, fouls it back. That's hit pretty well to left field. Brantley racing back onto the track, makes the catch. One away. Well, I think we've got a move coming here. Terry Francona is out of the dugout. He waves to the bullpen, and that's going to be it for Zach McAllister. McAllister goes 7 1/3. He gives up 2 runs tonight on just 4 hits. Terrific job by the Indians right-hander. And he'll go off to a big ovation from this Saturday night crowd here at Progressive Field, with the Indians on top by a score of 7-2. And today's Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen will be for Brian Shaw when we come back. 7-2 lead. And there is one out here in the 8th inning. And Brian Shaw coming on for the 55th time this year. 2-3, a 3.97 ERA. He'll be facing Justin Morneau.
Nice start by McAllister, though. Very good. Got a little help from his friends, and he can sit back. He should smile. He did a nice job looking for his 3rd straight win. That'll be the first time that has ever happened to him.
3 straight starts.
Yes, in 3 straight starts, right.
He had a 3-game winning streak last year. But he's trying to put it together in 3 straight starts. And he was dynamite this evening.
Well, it started in Minnesota against the Twins, where he went 6 innings, gave up 4 hits and a couple of runs. One of them was earned. Tonight it was 7 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs allowed.
Outside corner, a strike, 2-1.
And that start down in L.A., 6 1/3, 5 hits, 1 run. So he's throwing the ball much better. You can tell he's back. You know, with about 7 starts under his belt since coming off the DL.
No, and that's the, as well as Corey Kluber pitched this year and as well as he was throwing the ball, everyone wants to see him back. You want to see him get back. The question is when he comes back, will he be able to step right in where he was, or how long will it take? How many starts do you think,
Hard to say.
You don't know.
Yeah, you really don't, because he had the finger problem. And McAllister, his breaking ball, he changed his grip to it, since coming back. So yeah, it's hard to tell. We won't know until we see him back pitching.
But hopefully, when we get into the month of September, we'll see Josh Tomlin back. Hopefully Corey Kluber back. Swung on and missed. Morneau goes down swinging. 2 down here in the 8th inning.
Take a look at McAllister. Throughout the course of his start, rides a high fastball for a strikeout. A nice little split change for him. Changing the eye levels, as you can see. That was 2 fastballs, 2 split change. There's another fastball. Those were his 5 strikeouts. Tip of the cap as he walks in, and his night is done. 12-0-2, 1-2 counts tonight for McAllister.
Pound the zone, get ahead. He did everything he needed to do.
That's good day's work right there.
Josh Willingham 1 out of 3 on the night. Broken bat liner. Cabrera's got it. The inning is over. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th with the Indians in front 7-2. Dome it back, looking up, gone to Souvenir City. Carlos Santana's 16th home run of the year stakes the Indians to a 2-0 lead here in the first. And once again, the Indians strike with 2 outs. Now that got the Indians rolling earlier here tonight, and they have kept the pedal to the metal. Adding 2 more in the third, 3 in the fifth. And behind Zach McAllister's strong start, they lead at 7-2. Now to the bottom of the 8th, and Ryan Presley will be the third Twins pitcher to work tonight. 39th appearance on the year for Presley, 3-3, a 3.86 ERA. He'll face Asdrubal Cabrera. Anthony Swarzak went 2 2/3 innings of scoreless relief.
Yeah, gave up what, 1 hit?
Couple of walks, 1 strikeout. The only strikeout of an Indians hitter tonight. Cabrera 1 for 3. He doubled back in the 4th inning. Asdrubal has now hit in 6 straight games. Wow, look out. Sent his teammates scattering down there at the end of the dugout. There goes Danny Salazar headed for cover.
Well, you better be ready, man.
Mama didn't raise no fool
why
there.
Do you think they have the netting up there? You sit out there on the field, there's no way to run or hide.
Asdrubal lines it to short, and it's caught by Florimon, 1 away. In-game box score tonight, courtesy of your local Hyundai dealers. Now, the nice thing here tonight, you got Jason Kipnis rolling. He had broke out of that slump. He had a 2-run homer. Nick Swisher, his jersey giveaway tonight. He had a big 2-run double. Drew Stubbs at the bottom of the lineup. Couple of hits, couple of runs scored. Cabrera's now hitting 6 in a row. Santana with a hit in 6 straight games. Michael Bourne walked and scored a run. Yan Gomes 0 for 3 tonight. Yan Gomes with a no ball, 2-strike count. Presley delivers, and Gomes drives it to right field. There is Domit to make the catch, 2 down. Let's go back now to the Hyundai Studios for an in-game update with Al Pawlowski.
Hey, Matt and Rick, let's go to St. Petersburg, where the Rays were trailing the Yankees 2-0 heading into the bottom of the 6th. First, Ben Zobrist, a 2 RBI double. Then he was scored here on this base hit to make it 3-2. So now the Rays have the lead, 7th inning, 3-2 over New York. Matt?
All right, thanks, Al. Lonnie Chisenhall 0 for 3 tonight. Out of play. Swung on and missed. Mark Zepchinski looks like he'll be coming on to pitch in the 9th now for the Tribe. Liner toward left field. It's a base hit for Lonnie Chisenhall. He's going to try for two. He'll go in standing with a 2-out double.
This coming off an 0-2 pitch. He just elevated this ball. It wasn't a very good pitch. Had it up there. And Chizzy goes the other way.
So with a runner at second and 2 down, Drew Stubbs to the plate. He has 2 hits and 2 runs scored on the night. And a fastball strike over the outside corner. Series finale tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. We'll have it for you right here on Sports Time Ohio as Scott Kazmir goes for the Tribe. Wild pitch, ball going to get away, and down to third goes Chisenhall. Kazmir for the Indians looking for his 8th win of the year, and Mike Pelfrey countering for Minnesota. He is 5-10 on the season, so series wraps up. Homestand wraps up tomorrow. Hope to see you down here. 26,870 here tonight. The 1-1 is a swing and a miss. They were right by him with a good fastball at 95 miles an hour. In the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Presley here in this 8th inning has thrown 14 pitches and 12 have been strikes. The wild pitch that got away that sent Chisenhall to third, and that last pitch there, the only 2 that haven't been. Stubbs steps away as he wants a breaking ball here. And a curveball is hit towards third. Plouffe flips it over. And Stubbs is retired to end the inning. We'll go to the 9th with the Indians on top 7-2. then just stay right there. We'll recap the entire game for you. We'll have highlights and analysis here from some of the victorious members of the Indians down in the clubhouse. It's all straight ahead right here on Sports Time Ohio. Brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Here now is Mark Zepchinski, left-hander, third Indians pitcher to work tonight. Brian Shaw finished the 8th with 2/3 of a scoreless inning. And now the left-hander in his 10th appearance for the Tribe. He's done a very nice job. 8 1/3. He's walked 3, struck out 5. And Zepchinski will have Ryan Domet, Oswaldo Arcia, and Trevor Plouffe due up for the Twins. Ryan Domet looks at a ball outside. Chopped to short. Cabrera near the bag. Throws him out, one away. Let's go back and revisit our keys to the game. Brought to you by Akron Children's Hospital. Zach McAllister was just flat out good.
Yes, he was. He had a nice split changeup going tonight when you're talking about off-speed pitches.
But everything worked off his fastball. He was fastball command, and then the off-speed went to work for him after that, and the offense was fun to watch tonight, really. A couple of 2-run homers, a 2-run double, and they were able to score in multiple innings. Breaking ball in for a strike to Oswaldo Arcia. 0 for 3, he has struck out twice. For McAllister, it's his 5th start this year of 7 innings or more. And when he gets deep into ball games, and that's a stat we've seen with a number of guys, when you get deep, that means they're successful.
You're out there for a while, and they're giving up nothing. They're throwing strikes, and there's a pretty good chance you're going to win the game. It's a good formula.
Oh-2 pitch in the dirt. Now, the other thing McAllister does tonight is it gives the bullpen a little breather, and they could probably use all the rest they can get right about now, because coming up this road trip, they're going to be used a lot. It's going to be playoff-type games in Atlanta and Detroit. There's a strikeout of Arcia, 2 down in the 9th. Plouffe looks at a ball outside. He is flied out twice. He was hit by a pitch. He was just nicked by a fastball from McAllister back in the 7th inning. Down in the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes. Zepchinski delivers, and there's a strike over the outside corner with a fastball. This crowd loving it here tonight. Over 26,000. They're revved up, ready for fireworks. But more importantly, they've seen the Indians come out here and take it to the Twins. Outside 3-1. Three-one pitch. Line to left center field, a base hit, and that's in the alley. That's going to go all the way to the wall. And into second base is Trevor Plouffe with a 2-out double.
Well, you fall behind a guy and you got to go in there with a good pitch, the way it is, and they're ready. You challenge them, and we're going to get a pinch hitter. Looks like Ramirez coming in the on-deck circle for Thomas.
So Wilkin Ramirez will bat for Cleat Thomas. With 2 outs here in the 9th. Ramirez hitting .264. 19 hits and 72 at bats on the season. As a pinch hitter, he's gone 2 for 11. But he's up here with 2 out in the 9th and a runner at second base for Minnesota, with the Indians on top 7-2. And a swing and a miss at a fastball. It's 0-1. Zepchinski ready. Here's the 0-1. And a swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. And now 1 strike away from evening the series at a game apiece. Tribe with a win here tonight. Jumps ahead of Baltimore in the wild card standings, and they'd be just 2.5 back of Oakland for that second wild card spot. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. The game is over. The Indians win it by a final score of 7-2. Their 70th win on the season, as Zach McAllister gets win number 7 to even his record at 7-7. The loser, Liam Hendricks, he falls to 0-2. The loss for Minnesota drops them to 57-71 on the year. Terrific job by the Indians here tonight, offensively. And of course, the great start from Zach McAllister helped them take care of business against Minnesota. Time now for our key play of the game. It's brought to you by KeyBank.
Let's go back to the 5th inning. Nick Swisher comes up. You've got Bourne, and you've got Stubbs on base, and he's going to clear him with a gapper into right center field. And I mean, they were off and running, and Bourne's trailing Stubbs. They both score. That made it a 6-1. Swisher ended up scoring the rest of that inning. That's going to be our KeyBank key play of the game. Get a free Kindle Fire HD when you sign up for a checking account. Some restrictions apply.
Everybody's a winner tonight. 7-2. The Tribe comes away with it, evening the series at a game apiece. We've got some final thoughts coming up next.